Yo, 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 yo. All right, guys, here's our third transformation rotation. So make sure you've watched 9.1 and 9.2 before you watch this one. So you should know what a reflection is and you should know what a translation is. And here's our third one, which is a rotation. So this is when we turn a figure. We're rotating it around a certain point. Again, we are not changing the size. We're not changing the shape. We're only changing the location. The center rotation is that point that we are rotating around. We are going to use the origin for our center of rotation. So what we are doing is here we have triangle ABC. We are rotating it clockwise, counterclockwise. We're going to go 90 degrees or we might go 180 degrees. So first of all, we got to know what clockwise means. Remember, clockwise goes in the way a clock goes. So that's when we rotate in the direction of a clock, and counterclockwise is the opposite direction. Okay. 90 degrees is when we only go a fourth of a way, and 180 degrees is when we go halfway around. Now, with rotations, one thing I want to show you here, and I'm going to physically show you what happens. So if I were to rotate this particular triangle, ABC, 90 degrees clockwise, so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees this way. I can actually physically, if I had a paper in front of me, I could physically rotate it 90 degrees. So I rotated it 90 degrees. And if you can see here, by doing that rotation, I can see what all of my new points are. Let's see, my new A is here at the origin at 0, 0. My B is at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So X is 3, Y is 2. I'm ignoring what these numbers are down here because I rotated the whole graph, but I'm just pretending like this is right side up, like this is the regular graph. And my C is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that's positive 3 and negative 2. I'm just pretending like this is a regular X and a regular Y, and all I did was rotate ABC. Okay, now those are the new points from doing that physical rotation. If you had a paper in front of you, that's how you would do it. Now, we might not always have a paper in front of us, so we need to know how to do it in a different way. But I just wanted to show you. So, again, we said the new A was at 0, 0. We said the new B was at 3, 2, which is where this new B is at. And then we said this new C is also at 3, negative 2. So here is my triangle after I rotated it. So we just rotated it 90 degrees clockwise around the origin. Now, another way to do this is just understanding how each section of the graph or each quadrant of the graph works. So basically is we should know that in this upper right, every value is positive. Okay, in the upper left, all of my X's are negative, but all my Y's are positive. I would write this down somewhere. Okay. In the bottom right of the graph, all of my X's are positive and all my Y's are negative. And in the bottom left, everything's negative. Okay, and that's just because in this section over here, my X's are negative, my Y's are negative. In this section, all my Y's are positive because I'm up, but all my X's are negative because I'm on the left-hand side. Positive, positive. This matters because what happens is whenever we rotate 90 degrees, okay, and this doesn't matter which direction we go, what we're doing with our points is we're swapping them. Okay, so if I were to ever rotate 90 degrees, any direction, okay, if I rotate 90 degrees, I swap the X and the Y. Okay, we move them around. So here's what I mean by that. So let's look again here. C, or let's look at let's look at C. So C, the original point is here at 2, 3. That's our original point for C. When I rotated it 90 degrees, my new C is at 3, negative 2. So when I rotate 90 degrees, what we do is if we have just a point, we actually want to swap whatever our X and Y are. You see how from here to here I swapped them? Okay, so here is 2, 3, now it's 3, 2. If we know that information whenever we rotate 90 degrees, then all we have to know is where did that 90 degree rotation end up. I know if I go 90 degrees on clockwise from here, I'm going to end up in this quadrant. And I know that in this quadrant, X is always positive, y is always negative. So once I swap them, I just make the x positive and the y negative because it's down in this quadrant. So let me show you what I'm talking about over on another one, okay? So like, let's look at this one. So this one, it says we want to go 90 degrees counterclockwise. Well, let's look at point B here. Point B is here 1, 2, 3, 4. So x is 4, and then my y is 5. That's where point B is at. If I want to go 90 degrees counterclockwise is this way, right? So that means point B is going to end up somewhere over here. If I'm in the top right, if I go 90 degrees counterclockwise, I'm going to end up in the top left. That's 90 degrees over this way. Because it's 90 degrees, I have to swap my x and my y. So my new B is going to be 5, 4. I swapped x and y. But now I just got to look at, it's going to be in this quadrant. Well, what are all the points in this quadrant? All the x's are negative and all the y's are positive, right? Because this is on the left side and it's up. Well, that means my point's going to be negative 5, positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's my new B. Okay, so whenever we go 90 degrees, we have to swap the x and y. They swap places. So like this s, this one's pretty easy because this one's just 2, 2. So if I swap them, it's still 2, 2. But now, because again, we're going 90 degrees this way, it's going to be at negative 2, positive 2. So there's my new s. Okay, because every point in this quadrant, the x is negative, the y is positive. Here, this looks like I down here. Y is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y is at 5. I'm sorry, yeah, 5, and then y is 0. Well, now my new y then should be at 0, 5. Because I have to swap my x and my y if I rotate 90 degrees. Okay, and if it's at 0, 5, x is negative, so that doesn't matter because it's 0, y is 5, so there we go, there's my new y. This is at 0, 5. And there's my triangle. So if I had taken this right here and I rotated it 90 degrees, that's where it ends up. And if I physically take it and rotate it, let's just look, see if it looks the same. Looks like we did pretty good, right? Boom, we did it. Okay, so that was a 90-degree rotation. All right. So we can do it without actually physically rotating it. If we ever rotate 90 degrees, we just swap our x and y. We have to remember that part. That part's super important. Okay, we swap our x and y, but after we swap our x and y, we just look at where the point's can end up, and we should know if it's positive or negative based on where it ends up. Now, 180 degrees is really actually pretty simple. 180 degrees, we don't have to swap our x and y. 180 degrees when we just flip it all the way. So if I started like here, I would then end up over here, okay? If I was over here, I would end up over here. So 180 degrees, the x and y don't swap, they just change the signs. Okay, so let's look at it. So v is at 2, 0. So that's here, here's v. I'll draw this again to give you a visual. S is at 1, 3. That's 1, 1, 2, 3. Here's S. And then G is at 5, 0. So here's a triangle. Not a very good one, but there's my triangle. I want to rotate 180 degrees about the origin. So 180 degrees means I take these points and I just change the signs of them. Because that's going to be over in here now, right? Well, over here, everything's negative, right? X is negative, Y is negative. So I'm changing the signs of all these. So my new V is at negative 2, 0. My new S is at negative 1, negative 3. And then my new G is at negative 5, 0. Okay, so, whoops. So now I can graph those points. Negative 2, 0. There's my new S. I'm sorry, there's my new V. I apologize. So there's my new V. So 180 degrees, we don't even have to swap. Whoops. That's okay. So 180 degrees, we don't have to swap the X and the Y. We just rotate it. We just change the sign of them. If they're positive, make them negative. If they're negative, make them positive. My new S is at negative 1, negative 1, 2, 3. And then my new G is at negative 5, 0. And there we have it. So there's a 180 degree rotation about the origin. About the origin just means that this is our center of rotation. Those are all the rotations we're going to do. Okay, so try on your own to rotate this about the origin. This is QH, and let's just call this X. No, X is confusing. Let's call it AHQ. And then we have SBLI. I want you to rotate this one 90 degrees counterclockwise. And then I want you to rotate this one 180 degrees about the origin. Try it and see how you do. Okay, so here is the rotation 180 degrees. So because everything was down here in the bottom left quadrant, it's now going to be in the top right, which means everything's got to be positive. And so we don't have to switch values or anything, we just make everything positive. So negative 5/3, a negative 5 and negative 3 became positive 5/3. Negative 3, negative 5 became positive 3/5, and then we have 0, 1. So we just changed the signs of everything. And then here's our new resulting image. Over here, I'm pretty sure this is one we already did. It looks like it, but that's okay. So these ones are the ones where we swap the X and the Y. So our S, and then I know because I'm going counterclockwise, I'm going to end up over here. So because I'm going to end up over here, my new S, I mean all of my X values are negative, all my Y values are positive. That's supposed to be positive. So that means I'm going to be at 2, 2, but it's going to be negative 2 because it's over here. B, let's see, I got to swap my X and Y, so that makes it 5 and 4. And then I know all the X's are negative. And then see, swap my X and Y, so that's 0, 5. All my X's are negative, so I don't have to worry about that. And then there we go. So there's my new S, negative 5, 4. There's my new B. And then 0, 5. There's my new other one, I. There's my resulting image after doing a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. And that is all. Things to remember: 90-degree rotation, swap X and Y. That's the most important thing. Okay? All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions or need anything, let me know. Radius out.